Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into one of the most transformative years ahead for enterprise technology. Our topic, AI Trends 2026, specifically Enterprise Transformation and Agentic Workflows. Sam, when we talk about 2026, we're basically talking about a fundamental shift away from AI as a tool toward AI as an autonomous agent, right?
Exactly. And what's striking is the velocity. We're talking about 72% of enterprises deploying agentic AI workflows by 2026, up from just 31% in 2024. That's not incremental. That's a complete reimagining of how organizations think about automation.
So break that down for our listeners. What does agentic actually mean in practical terms? Are we talking about robots running the office?
Not robots wandering the hallways, thankfully. Think of it this way. Agentic systems perceive their environment, plan sequences of actions, and execute complex tasks autonomously. They're not just responding to prompts anymore. They're initiating actions, handling exceptions, and adapting in real time.
That's a big difference. Give us a concrete example so people can visualize this shift.
Marketing is the perfect case study. Right now, humans create campaigns, review analytics, and shuffle budget around. By 2026, an agentic system analyzes customer behavior across dozens of data sources simultaneously, generates personalized campaign variations, A/B tests them autonomously, and reallocates budget to winning channels in minutes instead of weeks. It's predicting seasonal trends 60 days out and generating compliance reports without anyone touching it.
And the ROI numbers you mentioned, 312% within 18 months for marketing automation, that's not theoretical, is it?
Not at all. We're seeing Fintech platforms and SaaS companies operationalizing these systems right now. The data is real. But here's the interesting tension. The technology itself is mature. The bottleneck is talent. Organizations need people who can architect these workflows, prompt engineers who can translate business logic into natural language, and leaders who understand the governance implications.
That's a really important point. It's not a tech problem, it's a people problem. Which brings me to something I found fascinating in the article. This apparent paradox about nature-based AI learning retreats in places like Finland. Sam, how does wilderness immersion help you understand autonomous AI systems?
It sounds counterintuitive, I know, but there's real logic here. When you step away from the constant connectivity and distraction, and you immerse yourself in complex natural systems, ecosystems, weather patterns, interdependencies, you start thinking systemically. You begin to understand emergent behavior, adaptation, resilience. Those aren't just poetic concepts. They're fundamental to designing autonomous systems that work in the real world.
So it's not about becoming a nature enthusiast to build better AI? It's about training your brain to think in the right patterns?
Precisely. The executives and architects we've seen go through these experiences come back with a different mental model. They understand that you can't micromanage an autonomous system. You design its principles and constraints and let it operate. That's a mindset shift that's harder to teach in a conference room.
Let's pivot to something that might seem like a headwind, but apparently isn't. Regulatory compliance. The EU AI Act is coming, and Sam, you mentioned that some organizations are actually viewing this as an advantage rather than a burden.
This is where forward-thinking leaders are getting ahead of the curve. The EU AI Act forces you to build explainability and auditability into your systems from day one. 63% of European enterprises report that compliance-first design actually improved their AI quality and reduced deployment risks by 41%. It's like having guardrails that make your car safer to drive fast.
So compliance becomes a competitive moat, not a compliance checkbox?
Absolutely. Companies like Siemens and Philips have embedded governance directly into their workflows. Their agentic systems maintain detailed decision logs, explain their reasoning, and maintain human oversight where it matters. In regulated industries, healthcare, finance, manufacturing, that trustworthiness is worth a fortune.
What's your read on where this is heading? If 72% of enterprises are on this agentic path by 2026, what does the landscape look like for organizations that haven't started?
They're going to face a serious competitive gap. It's not like they can catch up in 6 months. The talent shortage is real, the integration challenges are complex, and the strategic rethinking required is substantial. The organizations starting now, even if they're not fully deployed by 2026, will have the institutional knowledge and the team in place to scale rapidly.
So the practical takeaway for someone listening, whether they're an executive, architect, or developer, is to start building capability now. Don't wait until 2026 to begin thinking about how agentic workflows might transform your organization.
Exactly right. And that capability building has multiple dimensions: technical skill development in prompt engineering and workflow design, organizational change management to restructure how teams operate, governance frameworks that align with regulations, and honestly, some of that transformative learning experience that reframes how you think about autonomous systems.
I appreciate that holistic view. Sam, before we wrap, is there anything in the 2026 landscape that surprised you or challenged your assumptions?
The degree to which regulation is actually becoming an advantage instead of friction. I expected European enterprises to be handicapped by the EU AI Act, but they're not. They're building more trustworthy systems, faster deployment, and clearer competitive positioning. That's a lesson for any organization designing AI strategy.
Great insight. For everyone listening, if you want the full deep dive on these trends, the specific use cases, the governance frameworks, the talent strategies, head over to etherlink.ai and check out the complete article on AI Trends 2026. Thanks for joining us on EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and this has been Sam. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Alex. Catch you next episode.